This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or even if you're in the comfort of your own home, watching us live on YouTube, Pulse 95 Radio. Now, this is something for me where I'm very, very excited because for those that know, if you had seen on my Instagram live, I recently had gone through this very, very interesting course and almost like a seminar, which had a specialist teach me how to breathe and also how to control a lot of things that was going on during the therapy. And one of those things was ice. And if you're wondering, he's already been called the Iceman in here. He's a life coach and he's much more than that. And we're going to ask him a lot of good questions about how he handles and manages expectations, fear, anxiety, all this. And I say all this and more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Wow. Okay, I got to give a couple of shout-outs before I start this because once I get into this, it's going to be hard to kind of kick me off the waves. And I will say something. Shout out to Jay, someone I met actually at a coffee shop who is a producer and a songwriter, very, very talented guy. And he couldn't believe I was working on radio. So I promised him on Wednesday I'd give him a shout. So there you go, Jay. There's your shout out. I hope you enjoy it. Mario and Tariq and everyone else who's tuned in. Thank you so much for logging in on the Instagram live at Omar Adori. I really appreciate it. Now, today is the day I bring on the Iceman, but he's more than that. And I'm going to bring him on myself. He does have a name. His name is Benoit. I'm going to try and pronounce his surname if you can help me out with this, Benoit.
De Meulemeester.
There you go. See? Perfect. Benoit, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Omar. Great to be here.
It's really nice to be here. He's literally just walked in and been bombarded with questions from all of our team. Sama, Mikey, you had Gabby, you've got Ray, you've got everyone here who's asked him all the questions and we haven't even started the show yet. So, Benoit, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Oh, well, right now, through the COVID, changed my life a little bit. I used to be an executive search in banking, which I still do. But during COVID, I tried to do something for people, for their health, for their immune system. And I was already into this Wim Hof method. And I was teaching myself through videos and all that. And through COVID, I started the ice bath in my little compound. Yeah. And the people just loved it.
Yeah.
And I saw the change, not only on their physical, but also mental state.
Absolutely.
So I enjoy it.
And the mental state is one of the things you and I have spoken about personally. There's a lot that goes through your mind when you assess body language as a coach. And this is something that I've seen firsthand from you. What goes through your mind when you meet someone and you have the instant seconds to be able to decide how you're going to help make that person feel better?
Well, I've been a life coach for 7 years now. I then, 2 years later, I also did NLP coaching, which is neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
So one is more motivational, the other one is more manipulation.
Yes.
In the ice, it's quite different from normal life coaching. Life coaching, you have an hour to talk to people. In ice, you have 10 seconds.
Yes.
So your instinct is very important. I try to be right most of the time.
Yeah.
It's not always the case.
Yeah.
But I need to take decisions very quickly. Do I keep the person in? Do I motivate, manipulate the person to stay in and to go over that, that curve you experienced a few days back?
Yes.
And to make that person stay and experience that amazing feeling.
Yes. And so let's take it back now. So I've stepped into your environment. Okay. I've never done that before. You see me as a client, a person, a human being who steps into your environment. What goes through your mind as a coach?
I didn't know who you were, I had no idea. I think I only knew your name after 30 minutes or something like that because all these people come in and I'm busy.
Yes.
I'm quite focused when I do it. So now I have somebody who helps me so I can really focus on the people.
Yes.
I'm trying to be as much as possible with the person in that moment.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so we started off with some breathing techniques.
Yeah.
The concept of it is to be able to endure being in an uncomfortable situation, to manage anxiety and control the situation, so you're not in defense mode. Am I right so far?
Well, the breathing, we actually manipulate our subconscious to making him think that we are in a flight or fight mode.
Yes.
So that intensive breathing is something you would experience if you just have to do a speech in front of 500 people you've never done before, or a lion chasing you.
Yes.
You will start breathing because your mind knows, your subconscious knows, you will have to perform right now. So we do that in an artificial way, and then we hold our breath to bring back the oxygen, otherwise you faint.
Right.
You know, you probably were dizzy that night a little bit, you know, or...
From the breathing techniques in the beginning, yes.
Yeah, a nice way of...
A light-headed way.
A light-headed way, right?
And tell me more, as a coach, you see the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic when you're observing these people and through fight and flight and how they handle situations. Can you tell the way someone lives their life by the way that they've handled situations in your course?
Well, again, you know, it's that moment when I think they need me, I try to be with them.
Yeah.
Some people need it more than others. Some people, you know, they are typically anxious,
right?
In general.
Yes.
And then you put them in ice and it's an explosion, you know. And
yes.
So you need to calm them down. Or you have people they want to control. They could probably stay 10 minutes suffering in the ice, but that's not the goal. I want to experience like you did.
Yeah.
That you suffered maybe, 20, 30 seconds?
Yes.
And then your subconscious overcame your flight and fight brain. And then you started smiling, right?
Yes, I did start. I was freezing. But I did start smiling. But what was interesting is your words about me as a character without knowing me through this experience. Do you remember what you said to me?
Yeah, I said you were fighting the water like you were punching it.
Yes. Why did you use the word punching?
Maybe you look like one.
Okay, fair enough. And there were so many things you could have used. You could have used smash, break, crack, normally associated with ice.
Yeah.
But you used punch. And then when I came out and I asked you, you said because you looked like you were fighting it. So that already had me engaged in how you would assess each person for their own experiences.
Yeah, maybe that was a lucky strike.
Okay. I think he's being humble. I think he's being humble. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions for Benoit, please shoot them my way. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to play you some Burna Boy because I know my RBO crew is tuned in. I know they love, their music, and they always rely on me to keep the spirits up. So I'm going to play you some Burna Boy, and we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the halftime show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much for spending the hour with me on the halftime show in Pulse 95 in the heart of Sharjah. Now, gotta manage my breathing because I'm under pressure. He's looking me right in the eye while he's talking to me. Benoit is here on the show, and we were talking about managing fear and managing expectations and trying to control through breathing and through breath work and through all the fantastic things he's done. We've had some great questions coming in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a couple of them now, Benoit. I'm going to try and touch on them as well. What is it about ice therapy for you that makes it so powerful? Well,
you think we are in a very comfortable life, we used to be outside at 10 degrees, outside in the desert at 50. Our comfort zone today is about 18 to 26 degrees. If it's 18, we put the heating on, and or above 26, we put the AC on. So everything which goes above that or under that, it's outside our comfort zone. So I started running in the desert, to bring that gap a little bit, and the ice bath is going to the other way. And you know these limiting beliefs we have, we just talked about it before. It's amazing what your body can do, what your body can endure, and I'm just helping the people to go through that. And most of the people, they come to my sessions because of the ice bath. They want to crack it, like they think it's something totally amazing. But it's not. and they do it. I just help them.
Right.
My thing, I'm not touching the water because it's too cold. But
Yeah.
I help them to go through that. They decide to do that. I just helping them.
Is it, Terry's asking a good question here, is it more about the mental fortitude or the beliefs to the body? Or the benefits to the body, sorry?
It's overriding your subconscious. You know, when you hug your grandma will do, you know,
Right.
that's a comforting thing. Your subconscious know if they're, that comes, it's a comfortable environment. So you go in the ice, and I told you when you were in the ice, just breathe out. And your animal brain, the fight and flight, he's telling you to get out of this water right now. And you continue to breathe, and then you overcome it. And then suddenly your body says, if he continues breathing like that, it's probably okay.
That's really interesting. Is there...
So it's
Hassan-
totally mental, you know? The people said, oh, I can't do that because I can't take cold. I can't take cold shower. I can't take cold shower. Every morning I take my cold shower. I have that little
Yes,
thing, you know?
yes.
But if I go in the ice bath today, you will have no idea if it's warm or cold. You will see nothing on my face.
Wow. And Hassan's asking, is there a specific time where the body needs the ice therapy or the cold therapy?
Well, sports people, rugby player, fighters, they go into cold therapy just after their fights for recovery reasons. So it has the benefits of, getting the muscle recovery much quicker. But we know from long time that for your immune system, cold therapy is very good. We were talking about it just before. In Finland, they do the sauna ice. It's for their immune system, right?
Right.
But today we have found out that there's much more to that. You know, you can probably heal asthma, anxiety. You can have better sleep. You can be more focused if you're able to manage that situation of stress.
That's what got me to your session. If I'm being very honest, that's exactly why I was intrigued to try out this 3-hour session that I'd seen. And I thought this is going to be very interesting to see how I cope with everything you just said. Kareen's asking, heat versus ice for optimum muscle recovery. What's your take on that?
Well, the cold together with the breathing, the breathing opens your capillaries to the extremes. Okay, you remember that tingling you had when you did the breathing?
Yes.
Together with the ice, where the blood has to go everywhere to keep you warm, it's probably much more powerful than just the heat.
Interesting. Very
But
interesting.
I'm not a doctor.
Oh,
But
yeah.
It's the research has shown that the cold recovers faster.
Right. And Pamela is asking from Lebanon, how many times a week can we do the ice therapy?
Again, you know, this whole thing, I mean, Wim Hof has been doing that for 25 years, but it's only coming really up now. In Europe, it's pretty much all over the place. In America, they started to train coaches to do that.
Yeah.
And the research on that is relatively low, but from the experience of the people, they say if you're relatively active and you want to have full benefit, once a week is optimal, but the breathing you should do every day.
Fantastic. And last question before we take a break. Almas, who's 13, she's one of my footballers. She's asking, how does it benefit asthma?
I actually had a guy who was using this spray every day. He came 3 times, did double bath, so he takes 6 baths, and he has been off this, how do you call that spray?
The inhaler.
The inhaler. He has been off the inhaler since 10 days.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it, folks. Make sure you stay tuned for more. Keep the questions coming in. I'll definitely shoot them our way to our guest Benoit, and let us know if you have anything else you want to raise the comments on what we're talking about. This is great, fantastic. Stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar and Duri on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time, and you know what time it is. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Duri. you know, I'm having as much fun off air as I am on air, because we're having some good conversations here with the man himself, Benoit. Thank you very much for joining us. We had some questions come in, and luckily for you guys who are on Instagram at Omar Duri, you got your answers, but I still have some more questions for the man himself. Benoit, managing anxiety, dealing with pressure is something that we've heard a lot during these times of COVID. How has that been for you in terms of how you've assessed people's patterns and their reactions to that?
Well, as I told you at the beginning, those sessions I started during COVID, and it was a great success in our little 12-house compound. And we saw how the whole compound was happy, and we were dealing with this new situation. And, you know, by talking to other people in other compounds, we realized how, and what was it, you know? And we all came to the conclusion, is this breathing we did and the ice baths. And you know, COVID-19 is a horrible thing for everyone. It's changed many people's lives. Some people have lost people close to them, but a lot of people have lost their jobs and all that. If we were all healthy and had a high immune system, we wouldn't even be there, you know. So this breathing and ice therapy boosts your immune system to a level. It's not that you will not get it, but even if you get it, you will fight it very easily.
Absolutely. And it also helps you to be able to channel that fight, correct? We spoke about that earlier on the show, through fight or flight, to be able to handle situations that are of high pressure.
Exactly.
Amazing. And with this, you know, something I was telling you off air, and I'll repeat it again now. One thing I noticed about you in terms of your coaching techniques, especially when we were in the ice, or when I was in the ice, by myself. I was looking at you, and you were coaching composure. I don't often see someone coaching composure, because normally the reaction would be when you tell someone to calm down, they're not going to calm down. If you tell someone to relax, they're probably not going to relax. But you were coaching us to be composed, to be able to handle that, by telling us to look at you. Tell me more about that.
You know, as a coach, normally you have a long period of time. You know, you have the assessment coaching hour and all that. When you're in the ice, it's a matter of seconds. So you said we were in the ice, and I feel like that. So when I'm coaching you to go through that ice, it's really we. And for me to connect, I am not holding your hands.
Yes.
The only way for me is to connect through your eyes, because your whole body is immersed in ice. And by looking in your eyes and you looking at my eyes, we are in that together.
Yes.
And the energy then flows quite easily. You know, I know how the people, you know, how the nostrils move, the mouth moves when the smile is almost coming, you know. So it's getting as close as possible from that person who is suffering in front of you.
Interesting. And this, when we talk about suffering, when we're done with being in there for anywhere between 2 to 4.5 minutes, and I know this because it was recorded on my phone, you tell us to put our head in the water. Why?
Well, I hope you remember that after 3 minutes, no way I would get you out of the ice, because you were so comfortable there. You actually wanted to stay longer, if I remember correctly. You forget. You forget how cold it is. But all the warm blood is in your head, and your head is boiling. And so it's a bit of a come back to reality check, you know. So I asked the people to put some people don't want to put it, and then I do my favorite, which is the ice bucket. You know, I fill it and I pour it slowly on the people's head. I love
see
it.
the way he says it.
I love it.
Has it been something that you have appreciated more when coaching people, to see how beneficial it is for them, you know, especially now when everyone's a lot more aware on their immune system, on managing themselves? Well, maybe before it was normal to do it sometimes, maybe not. Now it's like people are looking to improve and boost their immune system. Has that been refreshing for you as a coach to see that?
Well, of course, you know, you do these things to help people. I mean, coaching is about helping people. But that coaching with breathing and ice therapy, it's so beautiful. In the morning I get up, have my coffee, and I read the messages from the people who had the session last night. I slept like a baby. I haven't done that like for 2 weeks. I feel so refreshed, energized. My rash on my skin has gone. Best experience ever. For me, this is great. I love it.
It must be so fulfilling.
Oh, it is. It is.
Well, there you have it. What's the name of the coach? Name of the coach is Mr. Benoit Lemaister. And what does that mean?
It's the master of the mill.
There you go.
In Dutch.
You see? Amazing. There you go. Rayuma, I hope I answered your question. We are going to come back, though, for one more segment. And if you have more questions, guys, I already want to bring him on again. But if we have more questions, shoot them our way, because straight after the prayers, we'll be able to ask those questions for you guys and hopefully have the answers in as well. Okay, so stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm feeling kind of good today. I'm really happy that we had Benoit on the show. He's been called the Iceman, but he's much more than that. And if you guys have missed the show, don't worry. You can catch us on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Anghami, or you can catch us on the YouTube live streaming. And normally the shows are uploaded on the day, thanks to Gabby and Mario, putting pressure on them now, to get the shows up on the YouTube. And you can catch Benoit on the show with me on the Halftime Show, and it's a great show. So we spoke about managing anxiety, managing your fear, using ice therapy, but not only that, more about the breathing and how we can kind of relate that to life. And I love that about when I met him, it was the same thing. For those that saw the video on the Instagram at Omar Duri, you saw that it may have looked like I was cool, but it required a lot of coaching to be able to get me to that point. And it's thanks to this man right here, Benoit. Benoit, you've been terrific so far. How has your experience been on the show?
I guess it's the other way around. Well, you helped me to go through that as well, you are my coach today.
I'll take that. Anything I can take, I'll say, you know what, I'm happy that he said that. But no, on a serious, thank you so much for coming today and being part of the show. A lot of the people would want to know where they can follow you. Is there anything coming up? More about the breath work, more about the ice work. Can you shed us a bit of light on that?
Well, we're still in the COVID situation, so we have to be careful with distancing and all that. So yes. we have much more demand that we can actually process. But we do little groups, as the same that you went to my. You can follow us on Instagram on Cool Out Breathe In, all in one word. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Right.
We are planning to do some weekend retreats. The first one is on 8th, 9th of October in Fujairah, where we're going to do some HIIT yoga, breathing again, ice baths, and the 6-hour hike to the secret beach, and hula hoop.
And hula hoop.
And hula hoop.
Okay, nice.
With a barbecue and all that. That's right. Like from lunch to lunch.
Yes.
Overnight stay.
Yes.
So we're preparing things. We have created an amazing community of similarly minded people where health and feeling good and be happy is at the top of their list. So we continue that journey.
Fantastic. Any chance of getting you here to Sharjah for a Sharjah retreat?
Anytime.
See, I'm always looking out for Sharjah. I'm telling you now, we'd love to have you here. You already had.
Oh, I had a ladies' night. I had a ladies' night also.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because some girls, they don't want to be in a bikini or in a swimming suit with other people, which I totally understand.
Correct.
So I keep it just for myself.
Excellent. And I think some of the people here were already asking you questions when you were coming in, about the whole therapy. So I think I want to actually see how everyone would be surprised by their reaction, because normally the reaction is, I can't do it, like how Sama said, she wouldn't be able to manage, or Mikey said he wouldn't be able to manage. I think seeing them in that scenario would be very good for them to be able to experience that they can do it, right?
I don't really have statistics, but I know I did a few hundred people, and I know only 2 or 3 didn't do it. So the success rate is about 99%. So only 1% doesn't do it.
Right.
Or gets out after 20 seconds and then go home.
Right.
I'm still trying to get them back though.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. And we have reached full time on the halftime show. Benoit, I'm so grateful you came down. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you, Omar. It was great.
It's been amazing. And remember, guys, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 3 to 4 on the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio. And make sure you don't miss me, because it's going to be a couple of days till I see you again. But I will be back, and I'll be back with fire, because the Premier League starts next week. And that means we're going to have a crazy show for you. I'm also going to have Naomi, the WWE wrestler, who's going to be on the show as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And I will miss you guys. I will see you very, very soon. Benoit, thank you so much.
Thank you, Omar. And stay cool.
I will. I definitely will stay cool. All the best and have a great day. Peace.
The heart of Sharjah. This is Pulse 95. Heart of Sharjah.